Hello! So this week is super exciting because we've finished all of the understructures and can finally start getting to work on the actual costume. So this has been kind of a long haul already with so many understructures. We've done the chemise and the drawers, and I've gotten a corset together with many mock-ups and some petticoats, a bum roll, a cage crinoline, and a corset cover. And I think that's it. So that was a lot so far, and we haven't even gotten started on the actual illustrated part of this outfit. So I'm literally so excited to start on that. I have a lot of things that I want to do with this skirt. I want to do some embossing in the velvet, and there's a lot of embroidery that goes into it. There's the apron, which I'm not sure if I'm going to make as a separate part to the skirt or part of the bodice or just completely separate, or there's so many ways that I could do it and I haven't decided on it yet. We're gonna have to make some decisions. Basically, what I'm trying to decide is if it will be easier for me to split this into two parts where it's where it's building the skirt as one part of the video or one video, and then actually doing all of the embellishments as another video. I think the embossing is gonna have to come very first before I even cut anything. We'll see. I'm also in the middle of moving right now. Micah and I have been going back and forth every weekend to the new house to work on stuff. With all of that, I'm kind of short on time recently and also just exhausted all the time because, you know, moving is exhausting. So that's where we're at right now, and I think it's just gonna be a lot of look at it while I'm working on it and then make the next decision. So I will be bringing you guys along with a lot of my decision making that comes with the construction rather than just fit, which I've shown in the past with my many mock-ups. Yeah, so sorry this was so rambly. Sorry this is jumbled and just kind of, you are getting the contents of my brain in video word vomit form. But I think that it'll look super cool when it's done. I have a lot of ideas and I'm really excited to get started. So with that, let's go look at the fabric and decide some things. Okay, so I've got my skirt panels all sewn together. This is a terrible shot of all of this, but it doesn't really fit on my table, so this is what we're working in. I'm going to be doing the same kind of shaping that I did for the petticoat. If you haven't watched that video, you should go do that because I explain it better there. But basically, instead of doing all the shaping at the hem, because I have a lot of layers of trim that need to go on and I want to keep those straight because it's easier to sew, I'm going to be doing all of my shaping from the top part that goes into the waistband. So I'll be cutting this so it's a nice curve all the way like that, and then, you know, blended with the stuff that's falling off the table there. But that's the plan. And then I will also be embossing this whole thing, which basically just means that I have a stamp and I'm gonna iron it onto the fabric, and because it's velvet, the stamp that is this part of the stamp that's raised will squish the pile of the velvet, which will make a nice pattern. And I'm doing that instead of having bought a brocade or something that has a pattern on it, because I already had this fabric, so that's what we're working with. I didn't even finish it all. I still have a good, I don't know, yard and 2 yards left. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but maybe someday you'll see it in another video. Cool. Well, let's get started on this. So we've got the skirt like preliminary put together, but it's not like permanently put together. It's just basted onto this waistband, and I just wanted to see if this amount of fabric looks right, if this hem length looks right, and you guys can't see any of that, so I'm gonna stand on a stool. Still nothing. Okay, well, you kind of see it's like bowing out a lot in the front rungs, and I think that's because I just used the bum roll to hold it out, and those only hold out like the top rungs, whereas the bottom rungs are still kind of being pushed forward by how heavy this back of the skirt is. So I think I am going to need to add a strap to it, unfortunately, which is not what I wanted to do, but that seems to be necessary. Either that or I take some of this fabric out, which is also a possibility. Someone also suggested, I think multiple people actually suggested hoop weights on the bottom, and I think that would be a really good idea if this fabric wasn't so heavy. I don't think I can add enough weight that this will end up being enough to counteract it, you know? So I'm gonna have to figure something out for that because this looks dumb. Okay, I've got some leg weights here. We're just gonna see if this weight solution will work at all, and if it doesn't work with these, then I know it's just not gonna work. Okay, well these are definitely too heavy just for the hoop at all, so that's not great. That did help, so maybe I should do that. Though, okay, so the issue seems to be that this is pressing down so far on this, and even if I press this down here, it's just kind of widening it rather than like swinging it backwards. So that's not actually a great solution for me. So I guess weights are out, unfortunately. That would have been easier than adding a strap, but alright, so I think I'm gonna have to add a strap to the back here so that, I'm trying to reach for the hoops, so that these hoops are kind of stuck out more like this. That should help push everything back, hopefully, and counteract the weight of this whole skirt. Maybe I should put two straps, one like on the bottom one and then one on this third one. Okay, so pulling this back again. I don't know, maybe it should be a little bit higher. I think it could be a little bit shorter actually. Let's see, I want this to be sitting Also a little bit lower. So maybe I'll do a 3-inch hem instead of a 2-inch hem. No, I think I do like the length right where it is. Yeah, I think any more and it'll look kind of odd. So I'm just gonna leave it right where it is. This hoop thing is very annoying because now I have to hold it back constantly. But oh well. Yeah, so other than that, I think it looks pretty good. The back might have, I don't know, maybe just a little bit too much fabric in it. Maybe I should redistribute it so that there's a little bit more. No, I don't think I want to do that though. Because I like how much fabric is in front. No, maybe it could use a little bit more fabric in front. I would like this part to have a little bit more gathering in it. I think if I do triple pleats all the way, like from front to side, and then do quadruple pleats at the back, that might help with my problem with this a little bit. Probably not enough that I will be able to get away with not doing a strap, but that's okay. I'm making my peace with that. But I think that it'll help with making it a little bit, like, the back looks so nice and swooshy and like has tons of like pleats and dips and valleys, all that kind of stuff. And I would like the front to be a little bit more like that rather than being really nice and, I don't know, gathered looking at the top and then really flat at the bottom. I think it could use a little bit more volume in the front. So I think I'll do that. So the main things that we're going to take away from this are that I need to add a strap or 2 straps to the back of the hoop skirt so that it will stop swinging forward like this under the weight of all this very heavy velvet. And I also am going to redistribute the pleats a little bit so that there's more volume in the front than in the back. I don't think it'll take out too much volume from the back. I already had a hard time fitting it all in the waistband in the back there, so I think this will help with that problem as well. I was considering just taking out some of the volume of the skirt generally, but I really like how big and swooshy it is, and I think it looks really nice, so we're just gonna leave it how it is. Cool. So it'll drag on the floor just a little bit, which is actually pretty okay. I don't want it to drag too much. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know we didn't accomplish all that much, but I am currently waiting on the rest of the supplies for this skirt, namely the ribbon that I'm going to be using as trim along the bottom, so this was about as far as I could get until those arrived. So that's where we're at. I hope that this was still entertaining and informative. I think that doing, like, this isn't really a mock-up, but doing a practice run of the skirt is really useful and really informative and told me a lot about what I need to do with the hoop and what I need to do with like redistributing all of the volume in the fabric. So, you know, it feels kind of like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but it is a necessary step, especially because if I had just gone ahead and made the skirt exactly how it is and didn't redistribute the pleats, it would have been fine, but I will be happier if the front looks a little bit more gathered and poofy and princessy rather than pretty and nice at the top and then flat. Oh, I wanted to like show you guys a close-up of all of this embossing that I did because it took so long. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I'm very proud of it, and it's not perfect, but I think that's okay because of all the pleats and because I don't really want the pattern of this fabric to be the thing that is like the wow factor. It's just another thing that adds nice texture. So, you know, it's a nice touch, and I'm very pleased with how it turned out, even though it took me a full day and a half to do all of it. So hopefully my supplies will come in soon and I can get started on the actual, like, the rest of it. So basically the process that has to happen next is that I have to take this off of the waistband and unpleat it all so that it's easier for me to add the trim and do the embroidery and all of that stuff, just because it's obviously it's easier to do all of that on a flat piece of fabric, even if it's a massive flat piece of fabric. It's easier to do that than it is to do embroidery and trim and all of the hem and everything while it is gathered up or like pleated up. So we're going to unplait it, we're going to do lots of embellishments and stuff to it, and then we're going to pleat it back up, and then that should be it. It sounds so simple when you just talk about it. And then it'll take me like a month to finish it probably. Hopefully not. I have to get this video out sooner than that. So that's where we're at, and that is the next process or next step that is the next step to this process, and I hope you guys stick around for it. Viva, come here. Viva, Viva, come here. What if I give you a treat? You want a treat? You want a treat? Come here. Oh, can you come down? Here we go. Okay, come here. Come here, sweet girl. It's okay, you can step on it. That's fine. You've laid on it God knows how many times. Yeah, there you go. There's a good girl. Okay, I got you. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, critical or constructive criticism or advice, please leave those in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. If you want to see the second part of this skirt actually happen, please subscribe so you can see next week's video. And also, the bodice will be happening soon, so that's super exciting. Okay, can you say bye-bye? You say bye-bye? Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Treat her like an infant. That's okay. She doesn't mind. She doesn't speak English. Alright, bye guys!